guys, this is a video tour of the Biff. We're going to be showing you the production studios today, so let's go inside, alright? Studio C. I'm going to show you how to make a production. What's important is you have to have what you want in mind beforehand. So I'm going to show you an example of a production I've made, and then I'll show you how I make something similar to it. So this is a jingle that I made for 88.1 The Biff.
You're listening to 88.1 Wbfh.
How did I do that? I don't know. Let's find out. We do all our things in Adobe Audition. So what you're going to do first is you're going to open a new track, and you're going to get your voice in there. So we got the mic. This is where the board comes into play. As you can see, Dad is on. Don't record while Dad's on, or this will happen. Brace your ears. Not good. Obviously, you have to turn that off before you turn your mic on. And of course, you'll check your mic levels. Mic levels check, yo, check it out. What? And see, it's too high. It's going up to 0. You want it at -6, so I'm going to lower it a little bit. Yo, check. All right, that's good. So I got my levels all right. So first of all, I'm going to say, you have to think about what you're going to say. Let's say, stick around, and we'll be back with more of Loney's tunes, all right? Stick around, and we'll be back with more of Loney's tunes. Okay, now, you can't have yourself be the announcer for your own show. You know, how weird would it say? It's like, here's your host, Josh Loney. Hey, I'm Josh Loney. No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a filter on my voice so it sounds weird. First what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a thing called dynamics processing, which alters my voice. My favorite is radio limit fast release. It sounds like this.
Loney's tunes. Stick around and we'll be back with more of Loney's tunes.
So, you know, my voice sounds a little more compressed. And then what I'm going to do to make my voice sound even more different is I'm going to put it through a filter. And one of our presets is old time radio, so it makes it sound overmodulated.
Stick around and we'll be back with more of Loney's tunes.
Okay, so we got that. Now look at that. That's really loud, as you can see. Things are going off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to affect the amplitude. I'm going to move it down 4 decibels, so it's about it's a good volume. 4. Okay. Okay, that's the easy part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it into multitrack. Multitrack is where I can mix a bunch of different sounds together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to find a bed for the background. A good bed might be the Loney Tunes theme, which we have in our music folder of our database. So maybe I'll put that in the background, right? Add that there. And before you move things around, just get everything you want, you know? So then I'm going to go to sounds, because, you know, that way we can have things like, you know, all sorts of kind of different sound effects. One of my favorites. That's good for opening, you know. So you gotta get to know the sound effects, and we also have kind of like almost random ones. So for this, why don't I put in? Let's see. We can put in some geese in here. Drag it in. Let's put in a couple beeps. So boing. Beep 1 will be good. We want kind of short sounds for this because it's a real short thing. We want it to kind of be all compressed into like 4 or 5 seconds, you know? And why don't we also put some lasers? Lasers are really good, like, because they're those sounds that you hear probably the most on productions. So let's put that, that's a great ending, so we can put that in there. And we'll get some more later, but next we want to have a drop. Now I've added, since my last name's Loney, and my show's called Loney's Tunes, you know, wouldn't it make sense to have to do with Loney's Tunes, right? So I've got a bunch of Loney Tunes drops. And that's what I play at the end of my show, of course, right? So I'll find a Loney Tunes drop. How about Sufferin' Succotash?
Sufferin' Succotash?
And that would be a nice opening, right? Right, now here's the key. You have to mix everything together. This is a very simple production. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've only got 7. I've had productions where I've had like 15 and you mute them and you mess around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Sufferin' Succotash at the beginning. And I'm going to delete some of this blank space that we've got on the recording so that it's more concise and I can see what's going on better. Got that. And why don't we start the bed then? The bed is the music that you usually hear in the background. Now what I'm going to do with this bed is I'm going to, through these lines on the top, I'm going to move it down. I'm going to move the volume to like 48%. So that way you can hear me talking above this loud music. I'm going to put that there. And hold on. We got sometimes you get these things. Alright. And so right now I'm going to mute it and just see how that sounds so far.
Stick around and we'll be back with more of Loney's tunes.
Alright, see there's a little bit more stuff in the beginning of Suffer and Succotash. So we gotta delete that, move everything forward. But that's kind of the way I want it to sound, and I actually might move this music a little bit up. If I could. Alright. So you've got it 40%. Why don't we put it up to 60%. And it's a very long process. So I'm gonna move the volume up to 60%. And so now let's hear how it sounds.
Stick around and we'll be back with more of
See,
Loney's
there's a
tunes.
little delay, so I'm gonna move it, everything forward. See, it's a very long and elaborate process. So we're not gonna make you stick around for all of it. But we're gonna start putting in a couple of drops. So let's stick this at the end.
Stick around and we'll be back with
There we
more
go.
of Loney's tunes.
So that's a great, that works. I'll show you Studio B. This is kind of like people's favorite studio. Now Studio B was just redone by Mr. Karn and Uncle Ron just this year. We got really state-of-the-art stuff, brand new soundproof walls. We got a lot of forms going on in here, save space. This is really nice. We got the two monitors, but we got a brand new board with our 3 new mics, brand new. And this is a cool thing. If there was someone in there in Studio C, what you could do is you could press this, and you could say, "Hey, what's going on in there?" And so that's what that's for. You can put on Dad, play stuff. We got a really nice jukebox in there, which is really cool. And this is also, Studio B is also actually where we keep our CDs. So I'll show you the CDs. Kevin, why don't you show them the production CDs and soundtracks and everything?
Well, this little segment right here, this is our productions. These are included like beds. We put under our voices, so we use those as like backdrops sometimes. And then all this is just artists who have sent in their CDs we've bought or students have brought in and don't want anymore.
And you had to reorganize.
I did. I had to put all these CDs back. I'll tell you, it took at least 3 hours.
We had hundreds.
Oh yeah, and these aren't even all of them. There's a whole another probably good shelf worth of CDs.
Yeah, this whole wall right here, these 3 walls used to be all covered in CDs, and we had the table here up against the window, and then we changed that. This is really nice studio. And we've actually got the capability to set up an around room mic in here, and maybe get some of these, get some of these chairs, and you can have like a band play live. So that's Studio B.
Thank you.